Our good buddy is Barry Svrluga, of course, Washington Post. You see him there. Barry Svrluga, I think I barely pronounced it properly. He, of course, national beat writer for the Washington Post. Barry Svrluga always says hello. And here's Barry Svrluga. He's our pal from the Washington Post. I think I got the name right. I usually do. I may have screwed that one up. Barry, welcome. How are you today, pal? Okay?
All right, I'm going to do this very slowly, all right? Barry Svrluga.
Oh,
I
wow.
get it?
Perfect 10.
You did it
Nailed
slowly.
it.
You didn't do it like Russo.
No.
You slowed it down. You thought about it.
Nobody does it like the Mad Dog. Barry from the Washington Post joins us on Hot Stuff to talk a little Nationals here. And Barry, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to you. And Mike Rizzo, we just saw Sandy Alderson of the Mets get a contract extension. Is there an extension in the future of Nats GM Mike Rizzo?
Well, I mean, that'll be a key storyline for this club over the course of what's supposed to be another division-winning season. This is the architect of their 4 division titles in the last 6 years. He really has his stamp all over this club. He's hired the highly respected player personnel guy in Doug Harris. He's put in place Chris Klein, the scouting director, who has overseen a lot of fruitful drafts. I don't know that we'll get to the point that the Mets got with Alderson, which was in the winter after his contract had expired. I would expect the Nationals are going to have to approach Rizzo during the year or during spring training to keep him around. I don't think that Mike is going to go to them and say, hey, I want an extension.
Barry, is Mike in any way, shape, or form with an extension tied into the possibility of them signing Bryce Harper to a long-term deal? Or, I don't want to say this is above his pay grade because he's the man in charge, but it might be above his pay grade. Do any of those go hand in hand, the Bryce Harper thing with Rizzo extension?
I don't think it does, Billy, because, as you said, there's one person above his pay grade, and that's the owner, the patriarch, Ted Lerner. Scott Boras is Bryce Harper's agent. Obviously, he has an extensive history of negotiating contracts with Mr. Lerner. That includes Max Scherzer. That includes Steven Strasburg's extension. Mike Rizzo is obviously involved in those decisions from, is this a good baseball player? Are these good baseball moves? But the finances and the details are really worked out between Boras and Lerner.
Nationals, Adam Eaton, when they got him, it seemed to be the one of the missing ingredients. Then he goes down with an injury. But you already said it looks like the Nationals should win the National League East, and I know we've got to go through spring training and play this thing, but Adam Eaton could be a huge get-back for the Nationals moving forward.
If you remember when they made the original trade, I mean, they gave up a lot. They gave up their top 2 pitching prospects in Ronaldo Lopez and Lucas Giolito to the White Sox, and people really kind of crushed the trade at the time. Eaton, though, came out and played really, really well. If you remember, and this is only a small time, it was 23 games before he had the ACL injury. He and Trey Turner at the top of the lineup is essentially 2 leadoff hitters. You can hit him any which way. They viewed Adam Eaton when they acquired him as a player on the rise, an ascendant player. He showed that in his first 23 games. He's essentially replacing Jason Worth in the outfield. Worth has had a couple of major injuries the last 3 years and hit only .233 since 2015. So that could be an upgrade for them with him back healthy.
Hey, Barry Svrluga. I think I got that right.
Nicely done, yes.
This is going to shock Billy. This has nothing to do with Arby's. What I want to ask you is, the Nats have done relatively small things so far. Kinsler, Lind have been brought in.
Matt Adams, actually.
And Matt Adams. Excuse me, Matt Adams, you're right. Are they impacted by the thoughts of Bryce Harper in the future now, or they've been connected a little bit to Arrieta potentially? They've reached out to the closers. I'm not sure if they're going to go there. Are they thinking about Bryce Harper? Is he still the priority, or might they do something big this offseason?
So, I think, John, Arrieta would qualify as big, right? He's going to get a big contract. He's a Cy Young winning pitcher. He would be strengthening a strength because right now they have 4 starters in Scherzer, Strasburg, Gio, Gonzalez, and Tanner Rowe kind of lined up. There's a battle for that 5th spot. They can say, hey, we have the depth. We know we will have competition. Eric Fetty or A.J. Cole or somebody like that could nail down that 5th spot. I don't think it's over until it's over with these guys. Boras is Arrieta's agent. Obviously, as we've talked about, he has a very close working relationship with this club. He's familiar with the slow play, so we could get to February 1st. Jake Arrieta unsigned. The Nationals would certainly be mentioned there. But they're also in the position where they could probably do nothing else. I'm not saying they will do nothing else, but they could do nothing else and feel like, hey, we've got a 95-win club here that can win the division fairly comfortably, maybe make a move at the trade deadline based on an injury, that kind of thing. But they could pretty confidently say, we've got a good club. We can go to war with these guys.
Yeah, and there you see Bill Barry definitely avoided the Arby's conversation.
Yeah, he
Didn't mean to.
Just jumped right over
get sucked into that,
which was a tremendous move. Barry Svrluga from the Washington Post joining us. Barry, Happy New Year to you, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.